Hi everyone, welcome to the Vegan Stew. This is episode 73, our vegan Halloween show. I am Coach Kayla filling in for Helene tonight. Before I bring in the Vegan Stew crew, let's thank our sponsor for tonight, which is Fabulish. Fabulish is a vegan food company that offers plant-based, allergen-friendly, gluten-free, organic, upcycled, and fabulous falafel bites and plant-based dips made from chickpeas and aquafaba. If you don't know what aquafaba is, it's that liquid that you get from chickpeas. So they sound really, really great. So I encourage you to check them out. You can go to trianglevegfest.com or fabulish.com to shop their products. So let's count down and we'll bring in our vegan crew.
Hi,
Right.
This is why I won't do the openings.
It's okay. We got this, right? We got this, team. So welcome Marla and Sovereign to our Vegan Stew. Again, I am Coach Kayla. This is our vegan Halloween show. So we're going to talk all about Halloween and how to have a safe and healthy vegan Halloween. So does anyone want to start?
Yeah. I mean, I think I speak for both of us when I say that Sovereign and I are both super duper into Halloween. It's really like the only holiday I absolutely love.
Yes. Aside from their birthdays, my kids, that's it.
I've loved Halloween since I was a kid. And, let's see. When I had my own son, I wanted to make sure that, this was 20 years ago when he was born. And I wanted to make sure that he was able to experience Halloween like I did, because I have so many magical memories of that time. So, we just started looking for vegan treats and, all different. So basically, long story short, my son and I have always, trick or treated, or he's gone with his friends, and anything that's not vegan just goes to the Switch Witch, who then, lands in our house and switches the non-vegan candy for vegan candy, and we throw the other stuff out. But anyway, we started Humane Halloween 10 years ago because there are so many of us who are Halloween enthusiasts. So, yeah. It means a lot to me.
That's so cool. I kind of like how Marla said, I grew up just having a love for Halloween, thanks to my mom. I would say it's one of the things I will take on a good thing to remember, because that's all I have really of her. But she would do block parties. Like, she would do the entire house was a haunted house. Every single room was a different film. So we had and room. So she literally would take like my brother's room and turn it into a haunted, ominous barn. Then she took my room because I was still like, I'm Halloween, but I'm Disney, and she recreated your Little Mermaid set along with mermaid and water things in my room and bubbles everywhere. But then downstairs, she had a smoke machine, a fog machine. Because I would like follow her everywhere as she's putting up like the hallway to enter the house, she turned that entire thing into a graveyard. And I helped her with that. And then I knew where the gummy worms were, so when she would take kids in the neighborhood, I'm eating off the floor, or bringing them in the house when I'm outside because they're friends. So she would just turn every single part of the house every single year. It was a haunted house that the kids would line up around the block. Kids were coming up the block. So as much as it was supposed to be, I guess, a phase, 42 years later, I am still connected and bonded with one of the best moments and memories ever. And I was able to introduce it to my little ones, which I was so excited about because we start on the 1st. Every day is Halloween for us, of course. October 1st, so hard. So we have our black tree that we put up, that we decorate with bats and skeletons, and we put webbing and lighting, and they love it. And then we have like little things where we'll take and make, like every day we do something. So we will bake, you know, we will watch Freeform, like all the Halloween specials we will watch. And then when we do go trick-or-treating, kind of like what you were doing, Marla, I will do 2 different bags. So I let them trick-or-treat for the experience.
Right.
And I take the bag, put it over there, and give the one that has the vegan candy. And I let them have maybe 1 or 2 because they really don't eat much candy. But I love for them to still have that experience. Just because we're vegan doesn't mean that we can't have that fun and we can't have that experience. And there are a lot of options that are available now. And before I had kids and we would do trick-or-treating when I was a teenager, I was the worst because I would like wait for the kids, and I'm just like, as they're coming to pass out candy, and don't let them be adorable because I'm just like, you are tiny and you're cute. Here's like more than your head. And don't come in like a spooky thing. One little baby came in, like Jack and Sally. I swear I poured the whole thing. The dad was like, "You're hilarious." I was like, "Here you go." He was like, "Oh my God." He was like, "You are not." I was like, "Oh my God." And then of course the Tism popped in, so I'm singing the entire soundtrack as they're leaving, and he just thought it was hilarious. But
I love it.
But it's just so much fun.
That's fun.
It is so much fun. I feel like Halloween is, well, it's one of the very few United States exports that I think is actually a good thing. A lot of most countries don't celebrate it the way we do. It is one of the rare things that we do well here, I think. And one of the things I love about Halloween is kind of the creativity and the DIY spirit of it. It's just like every house has a different display going on. And I love the spirit of generosity and fun and playfulness. And like some of my earliest memories, I don't know if you guys had this at your school. I'm imagining all schools did this and still do it, but like a Halloween pageant the day of, everyone got to wear their costumes and stuff like that. So I have very fond memories of that, even though, you know, my costumes are like the cheap ass shit from Woolworths. Everyone bought it. It wasn't because, but with the mask that like you couldn't breathe in, and you lost brain cells in, and this mock thing that fit over you. I would be like Betty Rubble, or when I got a little bit older, like, you know, what you call it, Bionic Woman or whatever. But it's just like, it's so much fun. And when I was little, our next door neighbors, I was best friends with the daughter there. My mom was best friends with the mother there. And like, it's so hard to imagine this today, but she literally baked sugar cookies and frosted them that were shaped like, you know, pumpkins, and handed them out to all the trick-or-treaters. Like today you wouldn't see that kind of thing, but it was like, it's that kind of memory that is just so, it's just so deeply woven inside of me that like when my son was growing up, you know, we started this vegan family network almost all because I wanted vegan kids to experience Halloween, but we had like monthly potlucks and stuff, but I would bake those sugar cookies and frost them, and you know, it's just because I wanted the kids to have that experience. It was so important. You know? Yeah,
That's great.
How about you, Kayla? What's your Halloween experience?
Let's see. Yeah, so I do remember dressing up, going to the Halloween parade, and, you know, going trick-or-treating as a kid. For me, I feel like I never was crazy about candy, even as a kid. Like I've only been vegan the last 8 years, but I never was like a big candy eater. I just remember the candy like sitting in my room for like ever, and my mom would like come in and like steal the candy.
I would hide it from my mom. My mom was such a sweet tooth. I had this drawer
Yeah.
And that was like the drawer where like the decoy candy could go, like the lower grade candy could go, and she would trade that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And I do remember my mom loves to sew. So she would actually make us homemade Halloween costumes, which actually for me, I think as a kid was more embarrassing. I liked being like a princess, but I remember she made me like a purple dinosaur. And at least in New York, it's colder on Halloween, so I guess I was warm. But I mean, none of the other kids were wearing purple dinosaurs. So that was kind of my experience.
I would have preferred. I'm about to one up you right now on the Halloween costume here because I had no choice. So I used to do ballet, and my mom was like, "Oh no, we need to." So she like sewed my brother's Ninja Turtle outfit from scratch, and I'm talking about full on shell, 3-dimensional shell with the stuffing and the front where you'd put it on. And we were Ninja Turtle freaks, and I still am. I've introduced it to the kids, and it was really cool. But no, for me, because somehow I got forgotten, and she was like, "Where's your ballet outfit?" So I was just like, "Okay." So I put it on, and she's like, go get the clear plastic bag, and I had no clue where this was going. She blew up balloons of different colors and tied it and made me a gumball machine. So I would walk around in the neighborhood and the party as a bubblegum machine. And I remember when she had one year the haunted house, and me and my curious self, because we all had to wait in the basement and take turns to go up as groups. So me anticipated and happy and excited, when you get to the top of the stairs, it's all dark. So you see like, flashing lights and you hear the music. I did not see the kids running. So they knocked me down the stairs, and just like a cartoon character, I'm like, pop, 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 down the stairs. And luckily, I will say the balloon saved my life.
I know, I was going to say. I've never fallen on balloons, but kind of now I want to.
It was like an airbag. I was so stunned and just standing up. And surprisingly, the only one that didn't pop was the one that was fixated to my hair, was supposed to be the top of the thing. And I'm just like, what just happened? It was in like,
oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I have actually a Halloween trauma story. Halloween costume trauma story as well. So like, as I said, my mom was not crafty, that was not her jam. So one year, I think I was like in 3rd or 4th grade, I was it was such an innocent time. I was a hobo. So I think she put like chalk on my face or something, and I had a hobo stick. You know, those sticks with the bags. Do you know what I'm talking about? Kayla's looking at me.
Yes, I do.
It's like the stereotypical hobo. I don't know what they're called. Maybe John will put it in the comment. But like, it's a stick with a bag on the end of it. Okay. So like people jumping trains could have their. And I don't know if actual hobos had that. But anyway, so my mom made something with a stick and a scarf. And okay, so at some point, one of the girls in my class said, "What is your bag stuffed with?" And I said, "I don't know." And she started opening, and it was my dad's underwear.
No.
You win.
I mean, it wasn't meant to be open. And like this giant pair of men's underwear.
Oh my goodness.
Horrible. And this was before the kids started making fun. Like, this was before I was an outcast. So it was okay. But like anytime after that, yeah, but it's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, she couldn't have stuffed it with more scarves. It had to be my dad's underwear of all things. And then I was totally freaked out that I was carrying my dad's underwear for the rest of the day. You know?
Oh my God, bubblegum machine me would have given you your hobo version you like. I feel you, support group.
Costume trauma support. But yeah, I just like Sovereign, as you were saying that, that brought my memory up. I had no recollection of it until today, just now.
That's
And then it
hilarious.
came back so clearly. But like, and I also want to say that much like your mom, Sovereign, at our old apartment in Chicago, we lived on the second floor of a big brownstone. We had the whole top floor, and it was a beautiful old vintage building, and all original wood and all that. And they have like this staircase going up to our apartment and then turning a corner, so you couldn't see what was around the corner necessarily. So or at all. So we would spend Halloween or October haunting the stairway. And our landlord lived downstairs. She was totally cool with it.
That's
And
awesome.
the neighborhood kids, it was kind of funny because it was a little bit of a dicey neighborhood at the time. And
Mhm.
I think they really enjoyed having frights that were safe, like safe scares.
Yeah.
And so we were the house that was we were the haunted house that also was the place where you brought cats when you found loose cats, because we were both like the scary family and the animal rescue family. Depending on the kid that you asked, if you pointed to our house and you said who lived there, they would answer either the haunted house or the place with the cat who takes the cats.
That's so
Sometimes
awesome.
both.
I think too, like, okay, I've got one like tiny. It involves Kenna. Here's his Halloween nightmare, but he's too young. He'll never remember it. But it was like we're trying to get a costume, and like I have still video footage of like where they would take when the malls would do trick or treating. So you can take little ones and they can go to the store. So they were both full on dressed as vampires with their little afros at like 3 and 2. And I swear, because they love like Hotel Transylvania, so they'll turn into the camera and they'll just go blah blah blah. And I'm just like, then you hear me just like nothing else. I'm just like so cute because their little pumpkin trick or treat things were bigger than themselves. But one year I was just like, oh crap, you can't find a costume. My mom's like, oh, I'll go get one. And she brings back like a bumblebee costume for Kenna. And I have a snapshot and his face is pure meme. He was like, how dare you?
It's like, what am I doing in this thing?
Yeah, what is this? I will get you eventually. And I was just
Sovereign, you're going to love this. My son's first costume, so he was born in June. So his first Halloween, he was still in a Bjorn, a baby wrap. And my husband dressed as a giant bat, like like a flying fox, and then Justice was inside of it in the Bjorn, and he was also just like that. So my husband would spread his arms out.
So cool.
So cute. I've got pictures somewhere.
I love that.
Yeah, we are a Halloween loving family. Although my husband's a little bit more like, why are we putting up decorations now?
Why are you asking me that question? You want me to be happy? Don't ask me.
Morticia, get it over it, bro.
Yeah.
But I will say that things have, like, I don't know about you, Sovereign, but I feel like things have gotten so much friendlier for vegans during Halloween.
Yeah, they really have, and it's fun to bake. It's fun to create things to give to kids. I've done that before. I did rock candy, so I did like black and orange rock candy and passed it out for kids. I baked of course, being able to do with Morella Morning what I love to do, which is vegan baking and pastries and food like that, but on my own take or how it comes through my lens, is incorporating that dark aesthetic and the a place and a time that makes me happy. In a way that is not necessarily like you could see it being like a William and Sonoma, or in a way that is very beautiful in its presentation that you can tell it's for every day. And as we got older, it was funny because I'm just like, well, I mean, I really don't have to decorate much because the house is the same. So when I go shopping, I'm just like, decor, just standard decor.
I'm just curating at this point.
Yeah, just that's it. Or just, people are like, oh, I'm getting this for deck. I'm like, oh, so this is perfect because I need this for baking things. And this could go in the curio and we're good. Like that type of thing.
Yeah, and, at this point, I have so much that I'm kind of in, curation mode. I like if I see something cute like at a thrift store, I'm like, do I love it? I have to Marie Kondo it. This is yeah, but yeah, we've got so much, and
yeah, it's cool to do it now. I think besides the food aspect and and vegan candy, the also like ethical decorations that I find, you find a lot of faux. It's just really cool because then like when you're shopping with, decorate, I love the variety in pumpkins. I love going to pumpkin patches and then getting the ones that are odd because I show the kids that we're using it for decor, but here's ones that you can actually cook with.
Yes.
Like, here's what we can do.
Yeah, I don't like the little things that you can't, that are just decorative. Like I want things that are, have utility beyond, like even for the squirrels, I want them to be able to eat that. I learned that, what are they? Ravens and crows. This may be more other species too, like pumpkin guts. So I was like trying to figure out what to do with this, the guts of my pumpkins that I carved today. And because I kind of like am into this idea of like maybe there's something for every part of it, because I've pureed it, roasted it and pureed it. And so like you can make facial masks with it, but with other ingredients and stuff. But one of the places I read recommended that the gutsy stuff for birds,
Yeah, birds can have that. You can do, I normally will go to Kroger and get the white pumpkins, the tiny ones, because those are sugar pumpkins. So like a lot of the tarts and stuff that I make or anything like that with flans and things like that, I did like a white pumpkin flan before and I use that. I use it to decorate because I'm like, they're not going to get thrown away. I'm going to utilize them. And then I'll take the seeds and use them in the dehydrator and like cinnamon sugar them for the kids, or bake them and roast them and use them in dishes, and then with the pumpkin guts, yes, for birds or using them as enzyme mask or even using them for certain for other food. Like it is stringy, but I mean, if you dry it out.
In the pie pumpkin, right. In the little, the orange pie pumpkins or sugar pumpkin, whatever they're called, they there's less, like the carving pumpkins have a ton of that in it.
Yes.
But these they also suggested, so like I have a bag in my freezer that I put like odds and ends in for vegetable stock, like the ends of carrots and tomato or like onions and stuff, and they said that can go for a really good broth, so as a possibility. Yeah. So anyway, I'm very into Halloween. Cool. Hey, Kayla, I have a question.
Yeah.
Favorite season? Do you have a favorite season?
Do I have a favorite season? Probably fall this time.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
A little more tempered about it than Sovereign.
I am. I'm not like, I guess part of Halloween that I would say that I like not really into is the scary stuff. Like I've never just been into like the scary stuff, the scary movies, just
I totally
not really into that. But I do like dressing up. I do like that part of it.
Oh, okay. See, I love Halloween, but I don't love dressing up. But I love looking at other people's cuts. But so like it seems like there's in Humane Halloween and just in the world, there's kind of like the Halloween and horror people. And then inside of that, there's all kinds of like other niches. But then there's kind of like what I would call, it's fall, y'all, kind of feel like people who, and it sounds kind of like that's more your vibe, like maybe scarecrows and things like that,
Yes.
But I have found that like just this year, I'm able to handle horror in kind of micro doses, but like just with everything going on in the world, just like I'm having a really hard time with the usual frights. Like I was never a slasher person, but even just like anything that, like I love psychological horror, but even that's a little too intense for me right now.
Yeah.
Are you feeling that too, Sovereign, or not?
Well, so the very first movies that I remember, I remember like Terror Vision. This is totally giving away everything 80s about me. But there's Terror Vision, Critters, which
Is
believe
that
it or not,
a movie?
oh yeah, in the 80s.
Mhm.
It was so I remember I'm going to Blockbuster. Just a second.
Mhm.
I remember going to Blockbuster, and like I watched all of the I am interesting. So I watched all of the Friday the 13th films.
Yes,
I
yes.
watched all of Nightmare on Elm Street, which I do
Mhm.
love. It was funny because the movies for Friday the 13th, you know, you had jump scares. I was young,
Yeah.
but when they released the game, I don't know why that scared me the most. Like we went to California, we were visiting our cousins, and we would play it on the Nintendo in the dark. And because
Oh,
of the colors of it and the music, and of course it was the 8-bit or 16-bit, like we were all freaked out of our minds. Like for some reason that scared us more, especially like Jason and his little click motions coming towards you, and you're a child with a knife trying to kill him. I don't. But
right.
in any event, we would go to Blockbuster, and there was a movie poster for Critters,
I
which
never
for some
heard of
reason,
that.
it
Is
was like
that
these,
like a kind of a less like popular one or something?
oh no,
I never heard of it.
it was pretty popular. Like
Mhm.
on the poster, if you would like to look up on YouTube, the movie posters, like these hairy balls, like with these
Oh,
creepy faces.
yeah. I'm
And
starting to remember it now.
yeah, and so for some reason, like we would go to Blockbuster, and that movie poster was like right on the side of one of the aisles, and it freaked me out for like ever. But now I have it, and it's framed. But I remember like Chucky and
Yeah.
Child's Play, Omen, Exorcist.
Oh
Like
God, Jesus Christ.
yeah, oh yeah, I don't mind
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
slasher films, but now
Can't do
now,
it.
Nope. That nanny in the Omen. What? No. No.
I
No.
could-
No. 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 Yeah. No. I have a like a threshold.
I
I have no threshold.
a doll.
yeah, okay. So I wouldn't see like this day.
What's
I
that?
can handle Chucky.
Yeah,
I can handle
that's
it,
not
and
my
I even
favorite.
I love the show like on Sci-Fi. I
Oh, I
cannot
think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good.
do Annabelle. I cannot do The Conjuring. I can't do those because there is a main reason for those who study anything dealing with, you know, the other world, okay? Because spirits do exist.
Right.
However, like I also grew up like MTV. There was a show where like they would have the contest and you would have to go, like it was paranormal.
Right.
They would have, remember that? Like
On
they
the
would
night or whatever.
they would have you read off like, you know, the incantation. And it was a friend of mine who told me, because of her mom, was like, when they do that, turn off your volume or turn the TV off. And I was just like, why? She said, because it's literally like you're saying it yourself. So you're gonna welcome any of that energy in. I'm telling you, I watch like Ghost Adventures, and then I'm like, oh, you're about to read something huge. Like, no. To the point where it's just like a little bit too much. And then I think I got more angry because you have people that claim to be enthusiasts, and then they do something that's harmful, and you wonder why you have something that's attached to you.
Right. And I think that you're so connected that like it feels disrespectful. You know
yes,
what I mean?
Exactly.
Doing it like a joke. And
yes.
Yeah, no, I get that totally. Yeah, I'm not like I do have kind of another funny jump scare story, like real quick. I know Kayla has to leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was that? I thought you said something.
No, go ahead.
I was watching this one series maybe like 15 years ago about like psychic kids or something. And because my son was seeing ghosts and stuff, but
Brenda does too. So yeah.
So one night I had stayed awake late and kind of watched the show, and it was freaking me out, and like, you know, whatever. It was a documentary style show, and so like I did this like last minute. I'm going to go check my email and then go to bed, and my office was in the back of the house on this like sun porch that was screen, you know, like a 4-season thing. Anyway, so like the kids on the show would say, I saw this figure that was kind of like cloaked in white. And that was like a recurring description. Anyway, so I'm like on the computer. It's at night. I'm just like I said, last minute checking my email. And then all of a sudden, this figure pops up on the other side of the window wearing white. I started screaming. And then
No.
that figure, who was our friend who decided to pop over at 10:30 at night with a white hoodie and the hood up, tied around his, he's on the other side of the glass screaming because it was like one of those like comedies where we're just staring at each other screaming and neither of us could stop.
No way.
I thought I was being like attacked or something. It was so funny, but I was like,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, I just I love this time of year, so it's exciting.
really
It's
It's really cool.
That's scary.
Yeah, I won't watch many things though with when it has to deal with, since we're talking about your son, Marla, some things that deal with children and ghosts, I won't watch because Kenna is very attuned. I've always been very attuned. But I won't with kids, and we have a tendency to, because they're still really young, I love introducing them to like some 80s movies that I feel are okay. Like they love The Lost Boys.
Oh yeah, I went to camp with Jamie Gertz's boyfriend. Sorry, I'm such a name dropper.
Like they love those type of things. I still do like to watch a lot of things that deal with ghosts or like the horror aspect when it's not too like, I mean, I grew up with The Craft as well, and Blair Witch was really good. I mean, that played all of us, but it was great, brilliant.
Which one?
You know, Blair Witch, the first one. We were in high school.
God, I was scared shitless. And we saw it in the middle of the day. Like I remember we saw it like a matinee, and we rode our bikes there, and we walked out and we were absolutely just like so discombobulated from camera and the angles. And I love that movie. It was so genuinely terrifying to me. Just so fucking scary, you know? And also, I don't know if you remember The Sovereign and Kayla, when it came out, it was really kind of at the infancy, not the infancy, but like toddlerhood of the internet. So people really didn't know if it was true or not. Like there was this,
brilliantly done. Brilliantly done.
It was such good marketing. It was.
It was. Like all of us that were there, like it was 5 of us, and I'm telling you right now, like once the lights came on in the theater, there were still a whole bunch of us just sitting there, like in there, just like.
Exactly.
And then of course we're like worried, but then of course we're like MySpace and internet.
Yeah.
Is this true? And what's happening? And let's investigate. We're all paranormal investigators now. And then
it's like there was a lot of mystique around it. Like
a lot.
It was one of those first viral campaigns.
Yes.
For social media. It was so smart, you know.
Yeah, and they raked in a lot from the budget that they had.
And right.
Just excessive ones.
Right. I mean, because the actors in it didn't know. I mean, they literally they didn't go home at night and stay in a hotel. They camped. Yeah. Yeah. And they like didn't know. Ultimately, I remember, is her name Heather, the woman?
Yep.
He was like, "Is this a snuff film that I'm signed up for? Because I don't know what's going." You know, like they would just leave that. The directors would just leave them little, you know, notes. And so they get up and in the morning and they read a note and say, "Go 300 yards, blah blah." You know, today someone has to lose the map.
Yeah,
and it's wild.
Yeah, it was horrible. The one scene out of that whole thing, I don't care if it was like made up or not, but that scene where they were in the tents at night, and the next scene it was just like, I was like, you will not pay me to go camping. I don't give a care.
No.
That's why I can't watch those things.
Yeah, it's not a hotel. I am not camping in that.
Not a pleasure, not a joy. Yeah.
Take pictures. I'll be in the Hilton.
Right. My thing is, Jews spent 40 years, in the desert. I'm not camping. We spent 40 years wandering the desert. No. But I did do it for my son, but I would have only done it if my husband was involved.
I'm like, I'm a night person. I am. I love standing outside at night. I like being under moonlight. I like also being there are cars coming down the road, that type of thing, or being outside in forest area with other people. But that was just way too that scene.
It was so
That
lost. You were so
particular
like
scene.
the feeling of being lost and confused
Yeah.
and just discombobulated and
Yeah.
disoriented is so real. You know,
Yeah.
my husband and I got lost in this like urban park, not urban, but like suburban. So it's like you're
Yeah.
never that far from the sounds of pollution, sounds of cars and stuff. Like,
Right. That's pretty much right.
but I was like, oh my God, Blair Witch, Blair Witch. It's like,
I think Halloween and we also celebrate Samhain because that's how it's pronounced.
yeah, yeah.
And we
same here.
do
Mhm.
our the last day, so the 30th, and then the 31st we do feast.
Right.
So on the 30th we would do breakfast. The 31st we would do lunch, and then we would do I would make some type of dessert in the kind of finale and have the kids help to make. And we love I'm really looking forward to, because we couldn't do it in the last couple of years, but a sensory friendly hayride for them. And
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
I
love that.
I love
I
that.
think we're all gonna be like, because it's gonna be me and my friends who are super, super happy to finally like see the little ones. But I know for a fact, because it's just how my son is, Alma's gonna be like, yeah, and try to hop off. No, come back here. You can't join me. Or this person's crawling around. Can we bring him home? No. So
Your kids are gonna have such great memories of Halloween.
yes,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm making up for lost time.
Everything
And
else.
And it means so much more to me
Mhm.
this time because it is officially just the three of us. And I am able to celebrate it without having to use, a mobility device or be in the company of people who are harmful. And we get to get back to still building being back to ourselves and not having to answer to those who don't understand or misinterpret, and not dealing with ableism and questioning or wondering if the kids are safe. I'm just like, I can be in all black, the house is black, but I swear to God, I will dance the hot dog song to Mickey Mouse more times than I can count. As long as it's not Barney, we're good. I know all animes. I'm like Kid KO and Gumball and Amazing World of Gumball. I mean, it's they're not harmed, and it's good for them to see that something that might be dark is still quite beautiful.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? Is that for its own sake, but also there's something to me about a safe scare that is like, is it called HYGGE, Hyga, or it's just like it's so cozy and comforting, And it's ironic to me, Sovereign, that we're talking about this holiday that is associated with like maybe frights and terrors and that kind of thing, but your need for your kids to have safety in celebrating this, and how it's just like people probably wouldn't connect the two, but just that you can let your guard down. You don't have to wait for the other shoe to drop or for people to misunderstand you, or you can just enjoy. What a relief.
And it, just like you said, something very interesting. Halloween in the month of October, since we STEM, if we come across something in a store and all three of us are geeked about it, nobody questions. Nobody questions our actions. Nobody questions any hand flapping and smiling or anything like that comes from the excitement of that. And it's also good that even though people associate it with frights and spookiness and things like that, the outside frights of the world that have nothing to do 365, we have control of this.
Right. Exactly.
Embracing that, being that safety when outside.
Ultimately, they're safe. Ultimately, they can observe these things and indulge in these things and enjoy these things and know that fundamentally they are safe. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
And it is fun. There's so much more options too, just available. And that's another thing too for sensory, for parents who have kids that are neurodivergent, or for adults that are neurodivergent. There's so many things, and there's so many cool things because places like haunted houses and stuff like that, they are quite aware, and they take that into account for people who may be neurodivergent or have anxiety or have depression, have autism. And it's almost like how the same way they operate at Disney. But absolutely the best experience I've ever had with Amma and Kemna. Those staff, the cast members, I've never busted out into tears so much in my life just to see how they are. It's the sweetest things. You see them on TikTok or parents that it's true. Like, I mean, it is absolutely beautiful to see. And it's really good to see that more and more, because there are more and more people who are either misdiagnosed, late diagnosed,
right,
and or they are embracing it because of the spectrum of that right. Being inclusive. You're not shutting anyone out. Eventually down the line, I would love to do a Halloween party for Mom and Ken and their friends. But for right now, we're all excited because even though it's just me and the kids, all my adult friends, we're all on the spectrum. So everybody's doing that. So there's kids, who are also autistic, or, my friends who are also neurodivergent, and we're just big kids. And we love to celebrate it with them. So they're not alone because we understand each other and they don't have to turn it off.
Exactly.
For anybody. So it's Halloween has just hold on, honey. Okay, I'll give you a hug.
Make dinner.
This one just ate. Don't mind him. He make dinner.
Halloween house. Big kids.
Halloween house.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that. It's there's been progress a lot of times, and I've really, like I said, inclusion is everything, and it's just such a fun time. Fall in general is a great time of the year. It's my favorite season. But I mean, October is just so much fun. And then, there are a whole bunch of, for adults, like vampire balls and things like that. And so much fun. I'm enjoying my first one.
Kayla nervously laughs.
Don't worry, we won't bite you. So we're just
you're still. I mean, I think that kids can, enjoy being safe around you because you're still feeling safe with things that most adults are like, oh, that's for kids. That you're showing that just because you're an adult, it doesn't mean that you have to give up the things that you love. And if Halloween's a thing that you love, or just because you're vegan, absolutely not. That's all the more reason to make it your own, and I think that's like what we're always trying to do. And just so happens that Halloween is my favorite, but we do it for everything that.
Oh yeah. And a snack. I was just thinking of something. I don't know why. Maybe because my brain was thinking about something. It was while you were just saying what you were saying. Candy ideas. So for people who may like, and little kids that like Snickers, we did this for Amma and Kemna, and it was a hit because they don't really know what a Snickers. They don't eat that.
Do you do it with like dates and peanuts and stuff?
Yes. So I take the dates.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll take the dates, but I don't.
Like,
now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Talking food.
Less vampire, more Snickers.
we don't do it with like originally at the way that they're like, what you cut a slit, and then you go ahead and you put the peanut butter in or things like that. I was like, I kind of want to do it as if you were looking at kind of like an Almond Joy or like something like that. So instead I would take a stick, kind of poke holes in them where you could go ahead and I would do like a caramel nut butter mix, almost like you're feeding it in to plump up the date. Then I would go ahead and put it on a stick, and then kind of bind and then freeze it and then dip it in black cacao chocolate that I would make. And they would ruin it. And it's
Oh.
hilarious because they're in heaven, and of
That
course
sounds so good.
the chocolate itself is like there's a brand, shout out to Weirdo Good Foods. They're Black Velvet Cacao. They're a small business, and I use it for everything.
What is the name of it?
Black it's called Weirdo Good.
How do you spell it? I'm sorry.
Weirdo. Like you're
Oh,
a weirdo.
weirdo. Okay.
Good. Amazing. It's vegan. I did a lot of the times for the tarts or cakes that I make, that use it in the crust as a base, or I did it when I made the biscotti.
Right.
They love what I've created, so they've sent me several bags to utilize, and I did it for the coffin cake, the big
Awesome
cake that I did, and they absolutely loved it, and I feel better with them eating something like that, because
right.
they'll maybe see it like on YouTube on these little shows, or the YouTube videos are like, oh look, here's a candy bar, and they'll look at me and be like, Snickers, and I'm just like, 1 sec, and then I'll go
I used to make peanut butter cups for our party, because there wasn't Justin's or whatever now. Then. So, but like, it was funny because sometimes for our Vegan Family Network thing, there would be like 50 or 60 people, with like all these kids running around. It's like, I think collectively the parents were like, okay, the kids don't know enough to appreciate how good this is, so we're going to hide these and just have them for the parents because they had plenty. Everything, but like, so the parents were like, you're just shoving them in your mouths, So,
if you have little ones, go ahead, Marla. I'm so sorry. No, go ahead.
No. But so like the parents would hide them in their hands and eat them.
So fun.
Cool trick for parents who are just like for vegan parents who want to introduce another cool take on a peanut butter cup is, and I did this I believe that it was a raw vegan version that I did, but if you get cocoa butter, vegan powdered sugar, granulated powdered sugar, get vanilla bean paste, not extract, and then you want to whip that, melt the butter, of course, and whip it. The more when you add the
Do you
powder,
whip it good?
Call me just as my Adderall's wearing off for the night. Of course, my brain's gonna. It helps to make it really white in that color, because of course there's no real such thing as white chocolate. So
yes,
set that aside.
Yeah.
Pour it in your cups, and I did with berries. I did chia seeds and some wild blueberries because they're tiny. Did a little bit of a mix, not to the point where it's like soup runny or like anything like that. So you want to watch the chia, but to where it's like well chopped, but it's still cooked. So you don't mash the berries when you cook it. Fill it and then chill it, and then pour the rest of it over. And I used to call them ghost cups. So when you bite into them,
oh God, I love that idea.
Right in the center, and they would kill it. Like it's any way to sneak in something.
Oh, that was so awesome! I love the idea. It's so fantastic. Do you think that you need to write a cookbook though called "Fill It and Chill It"?
Yes,
just all on that.
Well, I am going to do something only because I don't have a release date yet, but I mean I can confirm it. So because of the shift that Goth and Raw is making, and now it's Morel and Morning, there's going to be a little bit more like still of that, but I'm totally going towards my other love, which is dark couture fashion. So giving it still within the Victorian, but going a little bit more of a different shooting or recipes that are a little bit more on the sophisticated. So what I do have, because I'm not shutting away, I'm going to go ahead, and the recipes that I do have that are still Goth and Raw that are Halloween, I'll turn that into a book before closing the door.
I would totally buy that.
I'll keep everybody updated on that and when it'll be out, but it'll be whatever recipes that I do have, and then I will introduce Morel and Morning.
We are soul siblings, Sovereign, because I have a vegan Halloween cookbook. It's killed you.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just wanted to interrupt for a second because I know Kayla, I think you said that you had to leave early.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. I did just want to tell people about the Teal Pumpkin Project.
Oh, please,
I
yes.
don't know if anyone knows about that, but of course, as a dietitian, I just got to give my little spiel out there. And then
Yes.
personally, I've always felt nervous to like make anything for people, like because I've moved around a lot. Communities don't really know me, and I'm like, if I make something, will parents be afraid of what's in it?
Right.
So I came
Yeah.
across the Teal Pumpkin Project, and it's for trick-or-treaters that have food allergies or, those that are vegan. And it's a way to offer non-food items like coloring books, crayons, games, toys, cars, bubbles, anything kids like. And I actually did this before and kids loved it. It was at one of my jobs that I had, and the kids came around our desk or in the office and were dressed up and kind of did their trick-or-treating. And they were just so shocked. They're like, what is this? But they get these like non-food items and they're so excited. So I wanted to just share that because that's another way too.
And I think that they have like a map, right? Where you can put in your zip code, and
there
if you
might be,
that you can go all around, to the different places, because a lot of people participate, so that's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. Yeah, and there's a website I found. I think it's food allergy on foodallergy.org. If you look up the Teal Pumpkin Project,
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of information on it. So that was
what are
just
you
something I
giving
wanted
out
to share.
Kayla?
I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Probably bubbles. I feel like I have a nephew now, and he just loves bubbles. So
awesome. How about you, Sovereign? What are you giving?
Bubbles. Bubbles are always a win-win.
yeah.
I think giving oh gosh, there's a lot that you can do. I love the coloring book aspect too. There is I don't know, bubbles is like the crayons.
Yeah.
The only reason I say like bubbles and crayons is because crayons is an obsession of Kenna's. You can never do. He's a little artist, and then bubbles is always a favorite, but also something in terms of candies, like red vines, like mini red vines, or doing like a little bag of things where there are candy, like, and that's the other thing that sucks too, Kayla, is that you can't really give away some things that are made. Only certain things that maybe you can, which would be like you can do rock candy, making certain things like that you would find, and then it can be packaged and given away, or cookies, depending. But I like
if you know your neighbors and that kind of
exactly.
So
no, they're not. Anything really crafty. That's a really good thing to do. Then bubbles, crayons, coloring books, coloring pads, anything with paints, little kits where they can paint their own pumpkins. They can paint their own, like, cut their own little hanging toys for bats or anything like that. Just something to still bring excitement that's not necessarily edible. So I love the Teal Project. I wrote that down actually too. Yay! So I will share it. I will share it around for sure.
Make sure to have your teal pumpkin outside. So I have this one that like lights up.
Oh, very cool.
And so I keep it outside so people know that I'll have non-food items to offer.
So you could go to like a Party City or like a party supply place and get like the bags of, all the different little things.
Oh yeah.
We got Trader Joe's vegan gummies, but that's not going to be enough. So I'll probably do that as well as just get the rest bubbles or whatever, it's so much fun.
Yes.
It's not to love,
And again, like we said, there are a lot of options. There's another one. It's called Unsomething. There's Justin's, and then there's another brand.
I know what you're talking about, like Unmade or something.
It might be, but they do have like little mini versions of Snickers.
Yeah.
Like they do have the vegan versions. Then you have there's another company. Oh, because I buy them all the time for the kids. But they do have suckers that are vegan.
Really?
They have gummy bear. Yeah.
I don't.
Nice.
I had my husband go out a couple years ago to get Halloween candy at Justin. Or what did he write? Sorry, Unreal. That's it. That's
Unreal.
right.
There we go. Yeah.
Right. And
Um,
he went to Whole Foods and bought like $100 worth of candy. I'm like, I am returning that and I'm getting pretzels. So it's like $10 worth of pretzels. It's like
there's Yum Earth. There we go. Yum Earth organic pops.
oh yeah, those
They're
are
vegan.
great. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
That's
then
really awesome. I don't think it's gonna be long before we're gonna have our own like mini bars that are easy and quick to find and stuff like. Hey, I have a quick question.
yeah.
Sovereign, did you see that video where somebody is taking out the insides of a pumpkin using a hand mixer? Or did you see that, Kayla? Um,
Mm-mm.
so they like literally the hand mixer thing with the two what you call it, whisk things. And so
Yeah.
you put in it's electric, you plug it in and then you put it into a pumpkin that you've taken the top out of, and it takes all the guts out.
You're
Hmm.
joking.
That's
So you don't,
cool.
because I don't like scraping out the inside of the pumpkin. It really nauseates me. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that and see if it works. Because that would be
I'm
awesome.
I'm all for
Yeah.
hands and pumpkin guts. I don't know why. It's just fun. But I also want to do that with
not
the
even-
whatchamacallit. I think that's great.
It's not even the texture. There's like some kind of smell of it that makes me nauseous. But yeah, I'm gonna try that because I love the look of a carved pumpkin. I just don't like
Yes.
getting there.
Mhm.
Oh, I just found out the other thing that would be a good giveaway.
What's up?
Ooh. It's called I remember buying them offline when they first came out and adore them. They're called Petchkits. Misfortune cookies. They're black. They are vegan and they are black. I mean, they are pitch black and they have like their fortunes in it. It's
What?
yeah, it's the coolest thing. They're
Oh my
they're
God.
from Germany.
Can you buy those year round?
Yes, yes, you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
The artwork is very like Edward Gorey, kind
I
of
love
Tim Burton on the front of the packaging, but they're really good and they are vegan.
What's the name
So
of it?
Petchkits.
Oh,
Am I
okay.
saying this right?
I'll look up black vegan fortune cookies.
Pechkeks.
Oh,
Misfortune cookies.
okay. Sounds kind of like a Greek name or something there. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, did you say that the place that does the super dark chocolate is called like Weirdo Good?
Weirdo good. Yeah, and you can find them on Amazon. Mhm.
Oh, I'm gonna look for them.
Mhm. They're powders, and I possibly will do some baking for the kids. There's a company also on Amazon where they do Sun Foods. They do different powders, so using naturally, so indigo, yarrow, taro.
It's called Sun Foods.
Sun Foods,
Oh, I've seen
dragon
that.
fruit. Mm-hmm. So
They
all
do a
food-based
lot of
you can
different
store.
powders, not just like
Yes, out of the
nutritional powders.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
cool. Awesome.
So
That's good
it's
to know.
really and it's just natural. There's no additives to it. It's all food-based, plant-based coloring. So you just add that, of course, as
Right.
needed to,
That's awesome.
your food, like you would do cacao powder or things like that. It's finely ground. So
Mhm.
it's gonna be so much fun. And I think that what we'll do too is maybe we can all share like any recipes or things like that we can post perhaps
That's awesome.
in the on the site, the Vegan Stew on the Facebook or social
Yeah.
media, and really cool ideas and
Yeah, good idea.
other things to do. Kayla, please post about the Teal Pumpkin Project.
Yes,
Please do
sure.
that. Marla,
Absolutely.
anything that you're doing as well. I'll go ahead and put up the recipes that I already have that people can go ahead and do if they decide they want to, be complicated and extra for Halloween. They can make the cakes that I do, or if they just want to do really cool cookies that I have.
I never think of you as complicated and same could be said for me. Hey, Kayla, what's your Halloween wish this year?
Ooh, my Halloween wish.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
have
what's
no
your
idea.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be like, something that you want, just kind of like your wish
Hmm.
for Halloween this year.
My Halloween wish.
What do
I don't
conjure?
know. I feel like I'm put on the spot.
Okay, I'll go
I
to
don't
Sovereign.
know.
Come back to you.
Okay, come back to me.
Sovereign, what is your Halloween wish for the year?
What is my conjuring for the year?
Yes,
Let's
that's a
see.
good one,
My Samhain wish for everyone
Hey, baby, come here.
is for, even though it's the end of the year and what we're doing is starting to close out the season, we're going to be welcoming the Yule, so winter solstice, where we are now going to be bringing in a new year. So with that, I want for everyone to be safe this Halloween. I want you to still enjoy yourself this Halloween. I want you to not necessarily lose your inhibitions, but don't feel uncomfortable celebrating something that is fun. For a lot of us, there's a deeper meaning. There's a magic in Halloween that is just incredible. Go ahead and put on those PJs. Curl up and just lose yourself in it. You know, like freaking go to these like apps or Disney Plus and sit and watch like all the. That's what we had done. We watched all of Trick or Treat and the skeleton dance, and you know, just be a big kid. Like there's just so much fun at this time of the year. Yes, for a lot of us every day, this is our normal for a lot of reasons. But for those who are just wanting to enjoy it and just celebrate safely.
I love that. That's beautiful. How about you, Kayla? Have you had a chance to ponder?
I'd say my wish is for everyone to just, have a safe Halloween, enjoy dressing up, enjoy, the celebration and everything. And yeah.
I love
it.
it.
That. Yeah. And I do have to sign off, so I'm gonna head out.
My
Bye.
only Halloween wish is that all the horrors are fiction. Horrors, not whores. Anyway.
Not all the whores.
Of course I would say it like that.
Not all the whores.
I've always had an issue if the R's are close together. You know, horror is a very hard word for me. But we're gonna say goodnight to everyone.
Yes.
Have a safe, fun, lovely, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, magical Halloween.
Yes. Have a frightfully delightful Halloween. Cats and kittens and ghouls and goblins and pleasant screams and happy All Hallows and blessed Samhain and happy Halloween.
I love you, Sovereign.
I love you
too. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you for being here with us, and join us next time if you dare.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye.